how do I start? Hey guys, what's up? So I figured I'd make a video showcasing some of my contraptions that I've made in Garry's Mod, and that I might make some tutorials for in the future if there's any interest in that. So for this particular video, I'm not going to actually show you how to build them. I'm just going to show you what I have made, and if there's interest in it, let me know, and I'll get around to making a tutorial for it. Alright, so I guess the first thing I want to show is my 3D scanner. Most of these contraptions are things you've probably seen before, but I've tried to make them a little more interesting by adding some kind of feature to them. So this is the 3D scanner. Just gonna start by doing something to make the viewing experience a little more interesting. I'll explain what I'm doing later. Alright, so how does this work? You put an object on it, and something interesting is best, so I'm gonna just scan a ragdoll. There. So let's just put him in some kind of cool pose. Some kind of ninja kick. Okay, that should be good. Alright, so we just press the button and it turns around him and it will project over here. And the reason I unwelded this and made it an axis is because then we can spin around the result, so we can see it a little more from different angles more easily. Right now it's just scanning the leg, not particularly interesting. And it's all the same color for now, but what you will notice once it scans this leg, hopefully you will see that it is a different color. It should show up now. There it is. You see it's red, right? The other leg is red. Why might that be? Why is the other leg red when this is green? It's because I added a feature to it that makes the points redder the farther away they are from the center of the scanner. So greener towards the center and more red out here, and then sort of transitioning orange, yellow, light green, so on. Alright, so we turn that off, and this is the finished scan. So not too bad, but it does leave something to be desired. I mean, it's accurate, but it's not amazing. So to make it amazing, we're gonna activate this feature that I have implemented. It's very simple. It's a very simple thing, but it really does a lot. So look at the beam here. It's going crazy now. It's just going up and down like mad. But that is enough to actually make the scan a lot better. Like, you get a more textured feel to it. You can sort of see the whole of it, rather than just like what you had before was more like a mesh that didn't really connect anywhere. Now you can see that it's a whole thing. And personally, I think this is a lot better. Like, it just gives a much better scan. The interesting thing is that the point density is the same. There are no more points here than there was on the other one. But the points here are just more spread out. They're more evenly distributed. And they're distributed in a much smarter way. Before, a lot of the points are so close together that they almost overlap. And it's just a waste of points. So now, once it's done scanning entirely, it's still hitting him slightly. Okay, it's done. Turn it off. And you can see scan here is a lot better. Much better scan. So I might make a tutorial for this. It's quite simple, actually. It's actually incredibly simple. So if there's any interest, let me know, and I'll get around to making a tutorial for that. Alright, so what else do we have? I have Trebuchet, which is always fun. Might have butchered the word there. Haven't really said that too much before. and works just like you'd expect. It's all whoops. It's all working just on, you know, physics. There's not really any cheating going on here, which does make it a very fiddly contraption to build. There's a bit of wire stuff going on in order to do this, so it winds up once you press that button, and when you press it again, it just releases this weight. It just lets it fall down, and everything that happens from then on is just physics, basically. There's not any cheating going on there after that point. So let's put an object in here, something aerodynamic, and we're gonna set the weight up a bit. It's best with objects that weigh around 300, 400 units. Press the button here to grab on, unfreeze it, and now you just press the button and off it goes. And it shoots it quite far. It's not too bad. It goes quite far. So might build that one. It's not that complex, it's just very fiddly to get it all right. So what else do we have? Let's see. We have a turret, which is probably something you've seen before. This turret is cool because you can move it around and it stays there, but only if you move it with the fist gun or the gravity gun. Anything else and well, it doesn't like that. It really does not like that. Like it's not going anywhere. So that's kind of cool. And let's just test it out. Oops. Target finder. There, just making sure it's targeting manhacks. That was a bit close. Let's try a bit farther away. There. There. Does miss sometimes. It's not 100% accurate. But pretty good. On the whole, I'd say it's pretty good. So maybe we'll build that one. And I've sort of split it into a few modules, so you can see there are 3 chips. 1, 2, 3. This one just handles the floating part. This one handles the pointing at something part, and this one handles when to shoot. Well, it does that in cooperation with this one, but the reason I've done it that way is because that way you can get something useful out of each of the parts. So this is the chip that does the floating part. So let me just demonstrate that works with anything you might want it to be used on. So let's just see if we can do this. See if we can hit it. Ah, shit. Ah, crap. Okay, that didn't work. Let's try again. See if we can actually hit it this time. No. Fuck. Okay. No. Okay. One more time. Come on. This time. Gotta get it this time. There we go. All right. So you put it on an object, and it stays wherever it was when you hit it. You can move it, and it will stay somewhere else. You can rotate it, but the center of it will not move. So that's a fun little thing that you can play around with for whatever you need. So alright, let's see what else we have. Right, the 2D scanner. So it's a 2D CPU scanner. It's one of my favorite contraptions. You've probably seen similar contraptions before. Just gonna find a cool scenery here for it to scan. And I've made 2 versions. So this is the standard version, which is just completely true to the distance. It makes a 1-to-1 correspondence between the distance and the color of the pixel. And then another version I've made, which is really just a very simple change to it that does a logarithmic scale instead of a linear scale on the distance. Now you might say, why would that be better? And I think the best way to demonstrate why it's better is just to scan roughly the same scenery and show you the difference directly. So first it calibrates, and then it starts scanning. And over here, like I said, this is the original one. This is one you've probably seen before, and this one over here is the lock distance one. So already we can see some differences. This one over here seems to be brighter than this one over here. However, the difference of contrast is actually going to be exactly the same. So the darkest area is going to be completely black, and the brightest area, the closest point, is going to be completely red in both instances. But the place in the image where that that color is located, or the distribution of colors will be different. And if you ask me, a lot better on the logarithmic scale compared to the original one. So I'm just gonna zoom in a bit here. So this is the one that you will see normally. As you can see, it's a fairly good picture, but everything all the way over at the bridge, actually all the way over here and down here at the tracks, it just seems to be all blurred into one, right? It all seems to be the same color. And this point over here and this thing here, which is actually, it looks a little bit funny, but it's actually the windmill over there, and the rotor blade going around is what causes these lines here. It's actually really far away, right? It's all the way over there. I mean, it's really quite far away, but it looks as if it's really quite close to the bridge. Over here you get a much more accurate representation in terms of how it looks, not in terms of the actual mathematics, but in terms of how it looks like it's much farther away, and there's more detail in the midground, and you can even see the train tracks here. You can even see them. You can't see them over here. It's just totally impossible to make out any detail. So I'm going to show you how to build these, and you can make any transformation you want very easily on the distance. So you can like make inverse images. You can make any kind of difference you want. Apply any filter you want to it. So that's a lot of fun to play around with. As I have, and not too difficult to build either. So that's good. Finally, I want to show you one last thing, which is a very, it might be a boring thing to some people because it's quite technical, but maybe some of you will find it interesting. It definitely has uses. Whether or not it's a bit overkill for Garry's mod, perhaps, but it has uses. So what is it? It's an RSA encryption platform and an RSA decryption platform. Now you might be wondering, what the hell is that? So RSA encryption and decryption is a very secure cryptography system that is used today pretty much everywhere online where things have to be really safe. So like with money transfers, with banks, stuff like that, RSA encryption is used to make sure that the one who needs to get access to the information is the only one who gets access to the information when it's sensitive. So there's a lot of numbers going on over here. This is the encryption platform. What you do basically is you enter a string and you press the encryption button and it encrypts, and it finds out what the key is to decrypt with. So this is the decrypt key right here. All these numbers over here, you have to set those yourself. There are a few criteria for how you choose them, but it's pretty easy actually. I'm not going to go through it right now, but it's pretty easy actually. This contraption here, while the numbers might seem big to you, they're actually very small compared to in the real world. In the real world, this number here, this number here, this number here would all be like hundreds of digits, hundreds of digits. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So 6 digits, not exactly 100, but still it's pretty safe. How safe? So if you have this key here, the next time there will be a key will be this number here plus this number. And then the next key will be this number plus 2 times this number, and so on and so forth. So there's actually an infinite amount of keys, but this is the known period of the keys. So the longer this number, the bigger this number is, the safer you are, basically, right? If this thing is hundreds of digits long, you can't just brute force it. With this number here, you could brute force it, right? So it's more for demonstration purposes, really. You know, working with really big numbers is just a pain in the ass on a computer. So this will be big enough for this contraption. All right, so let's enter something that we want to encrypt. So this is a secret. This is a secret. This is something we want to encrypt. Press the encrypt button. It encrypts pretty fast, and then it says done, and it stores the encrypted string down here in this memory device here. So if we use the debugger on it, we can see in the memory, we can see what is stored there, and each of these memory slots, if you will, represent a character that was encrypted. So one would be the T, and H and I and S for the next ones, and that is then the encrypted value of the ASCII representation of it. But there's no simple way to get from this back to the original character. You would have to do the decryption, which is what is done over here. So you hook up the data input here to the memory from this device that has the encrypted numbers, and then you enter a key. This is a wrong key, and then you press decrypt or activate, and well, this is not the original string, right? Let's try another one. Okay, I don't know why it made things down here. Not supposed to do that, but anyway, as you can see, these are definitely not the right characters that come out here. So the wrong key translates to the wrong message, right? So that doesn't work. Let's try the right key. I believe it was this, and you get it back. This is a secret. You get back the original string. Try something that's close. You know, what comes out is not close. So it's safe, and that's how it works. So whether or not there's any use for it in Garry's mod, or if it's just, you know, a curiosity thing, I don't know. That's up to you guys. But it's not that bad to make. I mean, it's really not. For the kind of power you get and the kind of knowledge you get, it's really quite simple to make. So maybe I'll do that if there's any interest. But for now, I'll leave you with this.